AITA for refusing to name our child after my husband's late girlfriend, even though he says I'm just being jealous of someone who's gone. I'm a 30F, my husband is 31M. We've been together for 6 years, married for 3, and I'm pregnant with our first child. To give context, before me, my husband was with a girl named Emmy. They started dating in high school, were together through college, and had nearly 6 years together before she tragically passed away in an accident when they were both 21. He has always been upfront about how deeply he loved her and how hard her death was. He stayed in touch with her parents and sister, and when we started dating, he told me that part of his past would never disappear. I accepted that. I've always believed you can't erase someone's history. We all carry people we've loved and lost in different ways. And honestly, his openness reassured me that he wasn't hiding anything. When we got serious, he didn't downplay her significance, but he also didn't act like he was stuck in the past. He dated before me, built a career, made new memories. I thought he was in a good, healthy place, and that gave me confidence to commit to him. For 6 years, everything was fine. He spoke about Emmy sometimes, mostly in connection with memories or when her parents sent us Christmas cards. I didn't feel threatened. I thought, this is just part of who he is. That changed about 6 weeks ago. We were lying in bed one night, tossing around baby name ideas. We don't know the gender yet, but we were both excited to brainstorm. I threw out some family names from my side, like my grandmother's name, Eleanor. He smiled, but didn't react much. Then he said, if it's a girl, I'd love to use Emmy somewhere. Or Grace, which was her middle name. At first I thought I misheard. I asked, wait, you mean like you're Emmy? He nodded casually, almost like it was the most natural suggestion in the world. He explained that he'd always thought about honoring her name in some way if he ever had kids. He said Emmy meant so much to him that it felt right to carry that forward, like she'd live on through the next chapter of his life. I froze. I didn't want to snap, but my gut screamed no, absolutely not. I tried to stay calm and told him I wasn't comfortable with that. Naming our baby after his late girlfriend felt wrong. Like I'd be raising a living tribute to someone he once loved more than anything. He brushed it off. Why not? I don't see why you'd be difficult about it. It's not like she's alive. She's not competition. That phrasing stung. Competition? That wasn't what this was about. A few days later, he brought it up again, this time more forcefully. Look, I'm putting my foot down. Her name should be in there somewhere, even if it's a second middle name. It's important to me. I was stunned at how adamant he was. I reminded him that naming a child is a joint decision. Both parents should agree, not one person declaring terms. I told him again it made me uncomfortable, that I didn't want our child carrying the shadow of his past relationship. He said, only someone jealous would hesitate. If the situation were reversed and you had lost someone, I'd suggest using their name. The dead aren't competition. I'd accept it for your sake. I asked, how would you really feel if I wanted to name our kid after someone I once loved, someone I would always love but couldn't be with? He answered without hesitation, I'd accept it. I'd actually be the one suggesting it. It wouldn't be weird for me. That answer made my stomach drop, because it made me wonder if, deep down, he really would want that. If it would feel like proof that I still held on to a love stronger than what I have with him. 2 weeks passed without him mentioning it. Then, out of nowhere while we were eating dinner, he said, even if you had loved your late partner more, and were only with me because you couldn't be with him, I'd still want to use his name. I wouldn't care. It wasn't provoked. I hadn't brought it up. He just said it while cutting into his steak, like a random thought. But to me, it felt like a confession, as though he was projecting his feelings. Like maybe he thinks he loved Emmy more than he could ever love me, and that he's only with me because she's gone. I didn't say anything in that moment, but later I cried in the shower. I've always tried to respect his grief, but I never thought it would bleed into our future children's identities. Here's where I'm stuck. I don't resent him for loving Emmy or grieving her. That's part of his story. But asking me to literally embed her name into our child's identity feels like crossing a line. To me, it makes our child a vessel for his first love's memory, not a fresh person we created together. It makes me feel like second place, like I'm building a family in someone else's shadow. When I told him this, he dismissed it. You're insecure. You're threatened by someone who's dead. But isn't it reasonable that I want my child's name to come from us, not from a relationship that ended before we even met? The worst part? He told his sister about our fights. A week ago, I started getting texts from her. Why are you being so childish? Are you a woman or a little girl? Only a little girl would be jealous of a dead person. I was livid. I asked my husband why he dragged his sister into this. His answer, I needed to vent to someone. You're being unreasonable, and I wanted advice. So now it's not just between us. His family knows, and I'm painted as the jealous wife who disrespects the memory of his first love. I confided in my best friend, who was horrified. She said, you don't name your baby after an ex dead or not. That's insane. My mom agreed. She said it sounded like my husband was still carrying Emmy on a pedestal, and she worried what that meant for my future in this marriage. But my husband's side? They're doubling down. His sister calls me childish. His mom hasn't said much, but told me she thinks it could be a sweet gesture. I feel completely outnumbered. Part of me wonders, am I really being jealous? Am I being unfair? I know Emmy isn't a threat. She's gone. But feelings aren't always logical. To To me, it's about respect. Respect for me, respect for our child as an individual, respect for the family we're building. Every time I imagine holding our baby and calling her by a name tied to Emmy, my chest tightens. I can't picture it without feeling like I'm giving up something sacred. At the same time, I see how much it matters to him. And I hate that this could wedge us apart right when we should be closest. We haven't settled anything. He keeps saying he won't let it go. I keep saying I can't accept it. We circle back, fight, retreat, and then repeat. Meanwhile, I'm 8 months pregnant and exhausted. I never thought our biggest marital conflict would be over baby names, but here we are. So, AITA for refusing to name our child after my husband's late girlfriend? Am I being petty, insecure, jealous, or is this boundary valid? Update. It's been about 3 weeks since I made my original post. A lot has happened. After I hit post, I kept quiet for a few days. I didn't bring up names at all because I just didn't have the energy. But then one evening my husband asked me, almost casually, "So, have you thought about Grace as a second middle name yet?" I told him that I had thought about it nonstop, and my answer was still no. I explained again, as clearly as I could, that to me, naming our child after Emmy would feel like raising a memorial, not starting a new chapter. I said I respected his grief, but I also needed him to respect my boundaries as his wife and the mother of our child. He got frustrated and said, "This isn't just about you. This is about me too. You keep dismissing what matters to me." I told him that naming a child has to be a joint decision. That means both parents have veto power. That's how most couples handle it. If one of us has a strong objection, the name doesn't make the list. That didn't go over well. He accused me again of being jealous of a ghost. But this time, instead of breaking down, I just told him I wasn't going to argue anymore. I said, "This conversation is over until you can talk to me with empathy, not accusations." The next day, I got a phone call from Emmy's mom. Apparently my husband had reached out to her, thinking she'd back him up. He told her he wanted to honor Emmy's memory through our baby's name and that I was against it out of jealousy. She shocked me. She told me she completely understood where I was coming from. She said, "Sweetheart, Emmy would never want you to feel second place. Our girl's memory lives with us already. You and your husband should be free to build your family without carrying her name as a burden." I broke down crying after that call. I thanked her for her kindness. Later that night, I told my husband what she had said. His face fell. He didn't expect that answer. He didn't apologize right away, but I could see the wheels turning. Over the next week, he was quieter. He didn't bring up the name again. I think hearing it directly from Emmy's mom made something click for him. One night, he admitted that he realized he had been treating the name like a way to keep Emmy alive. He said, "I guess I wanted to prove I hadn't forgotten her. But maybe I was forgetting that you need to feel secure too." That was the first time he acknowledged my side without calling me jealous. We've started fresh on names. We pulled out a baby name book and each wrote down 5 names we truly liked, no baggage attached. We agreed that anything associated with past partners, alive or dead, is off the table. That rule actually made me feel so much lighter. We don't have a final name yet, but we've narrowed it down. And for the first time in weeks, I feel excited instead of anxious. His sister did send me another text, "So you won, congrats." But honestly, I don't care anymore. I've stopped engaging with her on this topic. My husband and I still have work to do. I told him that the way he involved his sister and the things he said to me about loving Emmy more really hurt. He's agreed to couples counseling after the baby is born so we can unpack all of it. This hasn't been neat or easy, but I finally feel like we're moving forward. My husband is slowly understanding that grief and love can coexist without dragging the past into every part of the present. And me? I've learned that setting boundaries doesn't make me petty. It makes me protective of myself, of my marriage, and of my child.